Marauder is the latest album from Interpol. Interpol is an indie rock band from New York. They have been on the scene for like 2 decades now. They have the legendary Turn on the Bright Lights under their belt, an album that I absolutely love and adore and still play quite frequently to this day, and I'm pretty sure many people that know Interpol know this album and appreciate the album as well. It was a great blend of like post-punk and indie rock, which, you know, spawned the post-punk revival, which then led on to be quite a big thing in the 2000s. Bands like Block Party, Arctic Monkeys to a certain extent, I would say, you know, the Strokes, that kind of stuff. Franz Ferdinand a little bit too, the Vaccines. It just kind of birthed this new generation of indie rock bands that completely started killing it at festivals, made quite a lot of hits, you know what I mean? It was a pretty big time for indie rock music in the 2000s. And I genuinely think Interpol were one of the reasons for that. However, they're one of those bands that just kind of followed up with releases that people didn't really care about. They had their favourites being the debut and perhaps Antics as well, their second album, which was alright, it had some good singles on there, but it was always one of those cases when people just compared their releases to that debut album. And to be honest, I think it's for very good reason. I don't think Interpol have, you know, captured that magic on that debut album ever since. And, you know, Marauder is kind of showing that here in 2018, that Interpol aren't quite on it with the great music that they once were. That's not to say this is a bad album or anything like that, but I think it has a lot of flaws. Like, I don't really feel like this album has the energy and the rawness that it's supposed to have. It feels like it's meant to be there, but something's holding it back. It's like on the cusp of breaking through, but it's just not propulsive enough to break through and give us that energy that it desperately wants to show us. The mixing is what severely holds this album back. I mean, the drumming just sounds completely buried and muddied. Like, it shouldn't sound that way. It should be more up front in the mix, you know, driving the songs forward, except it feels like it holds it back most of the time. The guitar playing doesn't really sound fresh. Again, that should be mixed higher. I just don't really know what they were going for with this sort of aesthetic. I guess maybe they wanted to go a bit lo-fi, but I don't really see why that would help, because that's not how they do their best songs. Their absolute best songs have always been the ones that feel bright and upfront, you know, and you get the melodies seeping through on the best tracks that they've ever made, especially on their debut, like Obstacle 1 and 2. But you don't really get that. You don't get that here. Think of the new Parquet Courts album and how well that's recorded and how everything's placed in the mix so well, you know, when there's a guitar groove, it really sticks out and gets stuck in your head for ages and ages, and it's just so good to listen to. But here, like, nothing stands out, everything blends together, and it just kind of feels like one long song to me. I mean, on the whole, the album doesn't sound terrible to listen to. I still quite like it when it's on. Occasionally I bob my head along to some of the tracks, but yeah, there's not really enough here to keep me grasped to it, to be honest. It's fine as it is, but it's incredibly compressed and stiff. It just all feels held back, and yeah, I'm not really here for it, to be honest. I didn't hate it or anything like that, and I don't think there's anything terrible on here, but it's just a bit of a letdown, really. I don't know if this direction was the right way for them. I can see other people enjoying this album, but yeah, for me, it just not the kind of rock I want, you know, and I just needed something a bit more, like, give me some energy, man, don't bog it all down, it's just not fun. I'm still going to go 6 out of 10 though. I don't think anything is remotely bad about this album. It just could have been a lot better, to be honest, you know. I wanted more melodies in the guitar playing, and it just wasn't there. So, but yeah, if you like this album, that's fine, let me know. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews, let me know your thoughts on this album. And yeah, have a good day. Yeah.